This time I'll call to order the February 19, 2026 meeting of the City of Clearwater City Council. If you wish to address the council tonight, please complete a comment card. Comment cards are located by the clerk seated to the right of the dais. When called to speak, please hand your card to the clerk. Move to item 2 on the agenda, and that is to have our invocation. I'd ask that everyone please stand for the invocation tonight to be given by Pastor Steve Kreloff from the Lakeside Community Chapel, and then remain standing afterwards for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, we are so grateful for your many blessings, one of which is to live in such a not only wonderful country, but a wonderful part of the country here in Clearwater. And we thank you for our city council, for the members, for each one. We would ask that you would give them wisdom as they make decisions tonight, give them insight, give them understanding, and we would pray that this would be a wonderful meeting and that all things would be done that would bring honor to you. We pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we continue through the agenda tonight, I'd like to introduce the dais. To my far left is our Deputy City Clerk, Nicole Sprague. To her right is our City Clerk, Rosemary Cole.
Good evening.
To her right is Interim City Attorney Owen Kohler.
Good evening.
To his right is City Council Member Ryan Cotton.
Hello.
To his right, my left, is City Council Member Mike Mamino.
Good evening.
To my right, Council Member David Albritton.
Good evening.
To his right, Vice Mayor Lena Teixeira.
Good evening.
To her right, City Manager Jennifer Porio.
Good evening.
To her right, Assistant City Manager Al Battle. That will move to item 4.1 on the agenda, and that is the Youth Art Proclamation. And I would like to call forward Betsy Adler and Beth Daniels from the Clearwater Arts Alliance for this proclamation. And whoever else you'd like to bring forward. Whereas the study and production of art leads to a fuller, more meaningful life, and whereas art education provides substantial educational benefits to all elementary, middle, and high school students, and whereas art education cultivates students' creativity, develops problem-solving and critical thinking skills by reinforcing and bringing to life what is learned in other subjects, and whereas art education teaches sensitivity to beauty, order, and other expressive qualities, and gives students a deeper understanding of multicultural values and beliefs, and whereas our national leaders, the National Art Education Association, the Florida Arts Education Association, Arts for a Complete Education Pinellas, and the Clearwater Arts Alliance acknowledge the necessity of including art experiences in all students' education. Now therefore, I, Bruce Rector, Mayor of the City of Clearwater, Florida, on behalf of the Clearwater City Council, do hereby proclaim March 2026 to be Youth Art Month in Clearwater and encourage citizens to support quality school arts programs and experience the arts in their daily lives.
Thank you.
Beth, would you and your folks like to say something? Yeah.
Just to say thank you for the proclamation and the acknowledgement of the value of creativity for our young people and their educations. We are particularly proud that this year, although there were some issues about funding for art things in the county, that for the first time in a number of years, the county-wide kindergarten through 8 full juried art show is coming back to the Clearwater Library. So the opening reception last year at Creative Pinellas, they had over 400 people in attendance, honoring their young students who had been awarded and juried with the show, with a piece that was put in the show, and it will be right here in our gallery on Tuesday, March the 3rd, pardon me, March the 3rd. So there'll be a lovely reception. We hope you'll all see it. Those pieces of art from those local students will be up for the best part of a month. So you'll have time to enjoy that. And of course, there's a lovely exhibit there now. which has been on display for several months. So we're happy about that, and we're very thankful for the support this council has given to the efforts of creativity and art in our community. Thank you very much. And I think we have a little reminder of what's happening and when to be there if you'd like to be there. But we think a lot of proud parents and a lot of very enthusiastic young students will be here right in this library in a very short time with their lovely pieces that they're very proud of. Thank you.
We certainly are a community that celebrates art and really appreciate the importance of involving youth in art. And so we appreciate the efforts of Clearwater Arts Alliance to do that. So, thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you. The official table. Thank you so much, man.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I learned that.
Be
I've
careful.
tripped over that.
That's my job, so we
I've
gotta
tripped
keep them
over that
safe.
hump many times. Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll now move to item 5.1 on the agenda.
Approve the minutes of the February 5th to 2026 City Council meeting.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Now move to the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from tonight's consent agenda?
Yes, council received a request to remove items 6.2, 6.3, and 6.4.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve those items that were not just removed from the consent agenda?
I move to approve 6.1 and 6.5 through 6.13.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Move to agenda item 6.2.
Approve a purchase order to Rep Services, Inc. of Longwood, Florida for the purchase and installation of playground equipment at Montclair Park located at 1821 Montclair Road in the total amount of $192,509.44 pursuant to Clearwater Code of Ordinances Sections 2.563(1) piggyback and 2.563(1) D impractical and authorized the approved officials to execute same.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Matthew Anderson, Assistant Director, Parks and Recreation. The item before you was presented at work session on Tuesday, February 18th, and I'll be glad to answer any questions at this time.
Is anyone here from the public tonight desire to speak to agenda item 6.2?
I'm Mr. Haluba. $192,000 for playground equipment for Montclair Park seems a little excessive. About 6 months ago, a similar amount was spent for playground equipment at Marymount Park. Now, I've been there, I've seen what they installed, and it sure don't look like $200,000 worth to me. It's a swing set and a slide and one other piece of equipment. Now, Marymount Park is sponsored by something called Pinellas Sports Academy Incorporated. It's listed on the city website that you're so proud of, Ms. Poirier. This business is a nonprofit, but when you pull it up in state records, it's listed as inactive. Now, I don't understand that. Why is it listed on the city website if it's an inactive nonprofit? Maybe that's why the city hired Samson Onai. Maybe he can do something about this. It's very doubtful. I believe having any park property sold for naming rights only serves to commercialize and cheapens the park visitation experience. And I don't understand why Marymount Park is sponsored by a defunct nonprofit. And I don't understand why you arrive at the wrongful conclusion that selling naming rights to park assets is somehow a good thing. I don't believe it is. And beyond that, we've got, Sampson Onai. Mr. Cotton, did you read those things I emailed you? Wouldn't take very long. Did any of you? Because I believe I sent it to most of you. It's not good. Now, Mr. Onai has stated several times to Mr. Crater and to you, Mr. Kohler, that he's a U.S. citizen. And I think he needs to prove that.
Is anyone else here tonight that desires to speak to agenda item 6.2? Hearing seeing none, is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 6.2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 6.3.
Approve and increase existing purchase orders with Quality Sod and Landscape LLC, Sunbelt Sod and Grading Company, and Tom's Sod Service, Inc. for citywide sod needs in the amounts of $60,000 for year 2 to address additional sod requirements resulting from hurricanes Helene and Milton, bringing the total amount for this contract term to $360,000 pursuant to ITB 19-24 and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Matthew Anderson, Assistant Director, Parks and Recreation. The item before you was presented on Tuesday, February 17th. I apologize, I said the 18th in my previous statement, but on Tuesday, February 17th. And at this time, I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Is anyone here tonight from the public desire to speak to agenda item 6.3?
I'm Mr. Haluba. Of course, no questions from any of you. It's just going to be another rubber stamped approval, unanimous. Now, this is also Parks and Recreation business, obviously. This one's for an additional $60,000 added to the already approved contract of $300,000 for sod. Sod is a layer of pre-grown grass, which includes the roots and the dirt. Now, an alternative, generally accepted to sod, would be grass seed. And here's a shocker for all of you that are going to sit here and approve this in a minute with no questions. Grass seed costs a whole lot less than sod, a lot less. Now, the excuse given for spending this additional $60,000 for additional, it's for additional sod requirements. Let that sink in a second. Sod requirements. I'm not aware that sod is a requirement in any way, shape, or form. Now, back in the 1940s, there was a man by the name of Maslow. Maslow published a list of human being needs. And important here, needs, not wants, needs. Guess what is not on the list? Sod. Where? Maybe Mr. Anderson can explain where this $360,000 worth of sod is actually going to be laid. Is grass seed not a better option? I think so. Maybe we can get Instago to get a sponsor for sod. This is a outrageous expense. We don't know where the sod's going. We don't even know where the money's going. But you're going to sit here and approve it with no questions.
Is anyone else here from the public tonight desire to speak to agenda item 6.3? If not, is there any council discussion? I would like to make one comment, okay? This past week, just a couple days ago, TripAdvisor, which is a travel website, takes millions of travel reviews from all around the world. People who have visited destinations and then rate their experience visiting those destinations. Just this week, Clearwater Beach was rated the #2 beach in the United States. We had been #1. We fell off a little bit, but after hurricanes, it was remarkable seeing our community pull together to put it back together in a beautiful way. They gave visitors from all over the world the wonderful experience, rate us #2 in America. But even more importantly, we were number 17 in the entire world. The only 2 American beaches rated higher than Clearwater Beach were La Jolla and San Diego, very nice destination, and Puerto Beach in Kauai, in Hawaii. We are on that level. And because we're on that level, we have many nice resorts on Clearwater Beach that pay a whole lot in real property taxes. And we benefit as a community from that tourism industry and keeping things nice. So we could not put down any grass seed at all. We could not put down any sod. We could just let it be dirt. And over time, what would happen is our community would lose its reputation as a quality of life, a great place to live. There are people here in the audience tonight in neighborhoods throughout the city who are all the time requesting us to improve the landscaping in their neighborhood because we want the quality experience. And so there may be those who would not like to put sod or grass seed down. There are certainly some of those, not just in Clearwater, in every community. But I can tell you the vast majority of Clearwater residents, they want this city to look nice. They take great pride in our community, and as far as we know, we've been sent here, we look at the bids come in, we're paying market prices for this side. So I just want to point out that there's differences of opinion. We've heard one tonight, doesn't think we should put down anything at all or just throw grass seed down. But there are plenty of other people in this community that want our community to look beautiful. And that's why we're proceeding with this purchase tonight, in my view. So with that, is there anybody else that wants to weigh in? If not, then we will entertain a motion to approve. Or
Motion to approve agenda item 6.3.
Second.
all those opposed? Excuse me, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Unanimous. That will move to agenda item 6.4.
Authorize a purchase order to Wise Hands LLC of St. Petersburg, Florida for citywide landscape plants material needs in the cumulative annual not to exceed amounts of $300,000 for the initial term from March 5, 2026 through March 4, 2027, with up to 3 one-year renewal options pursuant to invitation to bid 06-26, and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Matthew Anderson, Assistant Director. I presented this item during work session on Tuesday, February 17th, and I'll be glad to answer any additional questions at this time.
Okay, does anyone here from the public tonight desire to speak to agenda item 6.4?
I'm Mr. Haluba. I appreciate your comments, Mr. Rector, but I've been to the beach. I don't see any sod on the beach. You know, and if you're, own a hotel, I think you can afford to put sod down or birdseed, whatever. This is very similar. This is for $300,000 for landscape material needs. I don't know what landscape material is. Is it mulch? Is it, invasive species weeds? Whatever it is, it's not needs. Because I refer you back to Maslow's list, landscape materials are not on the list of needs. One thing's for certain, as we've heard twice already, and this is another $300,000. Parks and Recreation Department has no lack of funds to do whatever they feel like they can put over on you all as a group. regardless if it's needed or not, regardless if it makes sense or not. But it proves a point, I think, that there is no need to try to monetize park assets by selling naming rights. I believe it's, an ethical problem. There's plenty of money, obviously, in Parks and Rec from tax revenue. And I certainly do not believe hiring, an outside entity like this Instago that's a one-man band, one-man organization is even going to help the naming rights thing. I believe when someone makes a claim about themselves, they better be able to back it up. Now, citizenship is proved in one of three ways: birth certificate, certificate of citizenship, certificate of naturalization. Now, Mr. Oney has told you, Mr. Kohler, that he's a U.S. citizen. You have any of this documentation? The answer is no. He should be run off.
Anyone else here from the public tonight desire to speak to agenda item 6.4? If not, is there any council discussion? Mr. Anderson, you covered this at the work session, quite a bit of information for the public's knowledge is covered during the work session which we had. And we did all ask questions of many items just to make the record accurate. But what is the plant material? What kinds of things are included in this plant material?
So the plant material that falls under this contract involves ground covers, plants, shrubs, trees, palms. It's a wide variety. We've got almost 100 species that are covered under this, that were covered under this ITB. So these plants are used in various different ways. We've got some that are more tropical. We've got others that are native that are used in our more environmental parks. I mean, there's a wide variety of species, a lot of species diversity in the list, and that's one of the things we try to do is plant species diversity. There's certain plants, you plant the right plant or tree in the right place, you typically don't have a problem with it. But yes, we have put a lot of thought into this list.
Councilmember Albritton?
I just have a comment, and I want to tell you did such a nice job on the roundabout on the beach. You guys got in there, you planted the plants, which is a real nice, different types of plants, and you did it really fast. I couldn't believe it. You came in the morning, and it was like done at the end of the day. There was a lot of plants that got installed there. It looks nice.
Thank you, sir. I'll pass that on to the crews that did it. They do a great job every day.
Yep.
Any other discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 6.4.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item 7.1.
Declare a surplus for the purpose of sale to Rosemary Cooper, certain unaddressed real property located at the southeast corner of Palm Bluff Street and North Myrtle Avenue. Approve the agreement for transfer of real property and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same together with all other instruments required to effect closing.
Phil Kirkpatrick, Economic Development and Housing. I presented this last Tuesday for you at work session. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Is anyone here from the public tonight desire to speak to agenda item 7.1? I'm seeing none. Is there any council discussion? No discussion. Is there a motion?
I move to approve agenda item 7.1.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 7.2.
Approve the annexation, initial future land use map designation of residential low RL and initial zoning atlas designation of low medium density residential LMDR district for the 1604 Bonnier Street and past ordinances 9875-26, 9876-26, and 9877-26 on first reading.
Good evening, Lauren Matzke, Planning and Development. This is a voluntary annexation for a single parcel of land approximately 0.16 acres in size. The property owner has indicated they're seeking city services, including solid waste and sanitary sewer service. The Development Review Committee reviewed the application and is recommending approval as the proposed annexation area is adjacent to other city limits and thus is consistent with Florida statutes, the city's comprehensive plan, and the standards of the Community Development Code.
Okay. May we have a reading on this one, please?
So there's three ordinances. Ordinance number 9875-26, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, annexing certain real property located on the north side of Bon Air Street, approximately 215 feet west of Ridge Avenue, whose post office address is 1604 Bon Air Street, Clearwater, Florida, 33755, into the corporate limits of the city and redefining boundary lines of the city to include said addition, providing an effective date. Ordinance number 9876-26, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending the future land use element of the comprehensive plan of the city to designate the land use for a certain real property located on the north side of Bon Air Street, approximately 215 feet west of Ridge Avenue, whose post office address is 1604 Bon Air Street, Clearwater, Florida, 33755, upon annexation to the City of Clearwater as residential low RL, providing an effective date. Ordinance number 9877-26, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending the zoning atlas of the city by zoning certain real property located on the north side of Bon Air Street, approximately 215 feet west of Ridge Avenue, whose post office address is 1604 Bon Air Street, Clearwater, Florida, 33755, upon annexation to the City of Clearwater as low-medium density residential, LMDR, providing an effective date.
Is anyone here from the public tonight desire to speak to agenda item 7.2? Hearing none, is there any council discussion? If there's no discussion, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 7.2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 7.3.
Approve the annexation initial future land use map designation of residential suburban RS and initial zoning atlas designation of low-density residential LDR district for 2941 Abbey Lake Road and pass ordinances 9872-26, 9873-26, and 9874-26 on first reading.
Good evening, Lauren Matzke, Planning and Development. So staff received a request on Tuesday to withdraw this petition for annexation from the property owner. So I can answer questions, but it was advertised, therefore, it was on the agenda for tonight.
May we have a reading?
We don't have to read
Oh,
it
we
since
don't.
it's withdrawn.
Not, okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council members, items 7.4 and 7.5 are to be continued to March 30, 2026.
Very good. Agenda item 7.6.
Approve the joint participation agreement G3G00 between the City of Clearwater and the State of Florida Department of Transportation for a grant to repaint runway and taxiway markings. Authorize the appropriate officials to execute same and adopt resolution 26-03.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Aaron Burley, Marine and Aviation Division Controller. The item before you was presented at the Tuesday, February 17th council session. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay. May we have a reading on this one?
Resolution number 2603, resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, authorizing the execution of a joint participation agreement between the City of Clearwater and the State of Florida Department of Transportation for a grant to repaint runway and taxiway markings, providing an effective date.
Okay. Is anyone here from the public tonight desire to speak to this agenda item? If not, is there any council discussion? If there's no discussion, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 7.6.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 7.7.
Oppose the inclusion of new offshore oil and gas leasing off the coast of Florida and adopt resolution 26-05.
It's been discussed the last couple of meetings. You want me to go ahead and read the resolution?
Yes, please.
Resolution number 26-05, a resolution opposing the inclusion of new offshore oil and gas leasing off the coast of Florida in the 5-year National Outer Continental Shelf Oil and Gas Leasing Program.
Is anyone here from the public tonight desire to speak to this agenda item? I'm seeing none. Is there any council discussion? And if not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 7.7.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 7.8.
7.8 was a city attorney item. There was a discussion by Mr. Simpson on Tuesday. This resolution relates to the closing of the old City Hall site. Go ahead.
Will you go ahead and have a reading on this
Sure.
one? Yeah.
Resolution number 26-06, a resolution of the City of Clearwater reaffirming that land known as the Old City Hall site is unnecessary for public purposes, that disposal of said land is in the best interest of the public, authorizing conveyance of the land by special warranty deed pursuant to the terms of the purchase and sale agreement, authorizing appropriate officials to execute said deed, releasing any automatic reservation and right of entry in accordance with Florida Statute 270.11, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
I want to hear from the public tonight desire to speak to this agenda.
I'm Mr. Haluba. This is one of the few places in downtown Clearwater where you can park for free. So, you know, this document and what he just read that says there's, you know, unnecessary for public purposes is just simply not true. The public parks there. You people sit there, by you people, I mean you council members sit there and carp and moan about getting people to come to downtown Clearwater, and yet you're gonna take away, you know, a free parking lot? It makes no sense. But you're gonna do it anyway. One of the reasons, and you all have spoken about this, that people do not come to downtown Clearwater is there is no place to park. And you're gonna take this free lot away. Yeah, you guys are really doing what the public wants.
Is anyone else here from the public tonight desire to speak to this agenda? Hearing seeing none, is there any council discussion? If there's no discussion, is there a motion?
I move to approve agenda item 7.8.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Move to agenda item 8, that is citizens to be heard on topics pertaining to city business but that are not on tonight's agenda. Are there any citizens tonight that?
Yes,
uh,
first individual I have is Patrick Raftery.
Very good, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, and city staff. My name is Patrick Raftery. I reside in the countryside area of Clearwater. I'm here tonight to speak on a proposal that has been received from a developer for the landings area. This proposal needs to be equally balanced with the adjacent neighborhoods. In the past week, I've been invited to 2 meetings by residents in that area to listen to them talk about what's being proposed. Their concerns are for traffic, stormwater runoff, traffic, energy usage, traffic, loss of green space, traffic, loss of recreation areas for the neighborhood, tree buffers and tree canopies. They all need to be given high consideration in this decision process. I'm confident that Mr. Battle will bring his experience and thought process to this review from his previous experience and accomplishments. With our competent city staff, the focus will be factual and impacts on the neighborhood. What does the city get from this development? What do the residents get from this development? Keep in mind, forecast of markets as economics, primary purpose is to increase the reputation of astrology, meaning that they are sometimes very inaccurate. Neighborhoods are the strength of Clearwater. Each of you support neighborhoods. Clearwater must protect those neighborhoods. As this proposal gets reviewed and discussed, keep that in mind. Also, we need to involve the residents in discussions of this development so that you may get their input directly. Thank you very much.
And our next speaker.
Daniel Haluba.
I'm Mr. Haluba. Now, in this document, which, gives us the right of freedom of religion and speech, nowhere in here does it state that freedom of speech is limited somehow, or that the type of speech is limited. Doesn't say that. Now, if I stand here and call Mr. Rector a, derogatory name or display a disrespectful attitude, it's just as protected if I said he's the most wonderful person on earth. You decide which I think. Statements on clothing, letters, numbers on clothing are protected by the free speech of the Constitution. Freedom of the press is protected. Now, the right to petition government is a very, very important part of the U.S. Constitution. It's the right of citizens to be heard. And I believe this, even though you're allowing this bit, it has so many restrictions to it that are wrongful limits on free speech. The limitations are not in the Constitution. Now, if I'm Mr. Rafferty or myself or anybody else that wants to get up here and speak, if we're speaking to you, guess what? It's city business, whether you like it or not. And it doesn't matter if someone gets up here and decides to recite zippity-doo-dah. If that's happening, that's city business. And maybe we should give it a try. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth. It's the actual, everything is satisfactual. Zippity-doo-dah.
And our next speaker?
William Johnson.
Good evening, members of the council. Let me start off by saying I thank you for restoring the opportunity to share information with you together in one spot. Thank you for that. Last year, during your strategic planning session, you decided to prioritize existing facilities and services over adding new stuff. And so I would suggest that rather than consider new recreational facilities, that
Yeah, please, if you have Mr. Johnson speaking, so thank you.
okay, so rather than considering new recreational facilities, I would suggest that appraise the existing facilities that we have and make sure they're performing at the high level of expectation to your bright and beautiful goal. And in that regard, I'd like to share some photos. I was out on Clearwater Beach. I'm glad we got the #2 ranking, but I think we're kind of on the way in the wrong direction. Graffiti on 2 of the transformer boxes on Coronado. We have parking lots that do not have the required landscape. This is private property. Also, other areas that, we need that sod, apparently. Clearwater Beach, yes, the hurricanes were there, but boy, it doesn't look like what it used to look like. And for instance, our street public infrastructure doesn't appear to what I think our goal is. In the other area that I've been at recently and shared some information with is Cochran Park. And this is, I think, a beautiful picture, and I like the way the trash containers are fit in, but if you look at the other side of them, they're really kind of filthy, and that they could be a lot better, and that some of the others are in the same situation. Here is a picture that I took back in November. It's in the little roundabout at the bottom of Cleveland Street, and there's this coil of pipe there, and yes, it's still there. Why do we have that in our beautiful Cochran Park? I've shared with you before the status of the restrooms. Just are not cleaned. Here's a picture from November. You notice this kind of shadow on the wall. There was something there that was taken down, but it's still there and people are kind of digging at it. I don't think that's what we really desire as a high-performing government, which is your strategy. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker.
That's it.
That's it? Okay. That will move to item 9 on the agenda, city manager reports. Do you have anything for us? Okay. Move to item 10, city attorney reports.
Nothing, Mayor.
Okay. Item 11, closing comments by council members. Councilman Cotton.
I do not have anything at this time. Thanks, sir.
Councilmember Menino.
Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Albrecht.
Yes, I'd like to welcome the Phillies back in town. You know, they're back in for spring training, and the first game is this Sunday. First home game is Sunday at Baycare Park. So if you want to see some good baseball, it's starting up, and we're glad they're here.
Okay. Vice Mayor.
Okay, so I would like to echo as well council members' Albritton's comments regarding the Philadelphia Phillies. Welcome. It's a great time of year. I feel the energy all the time. Brings many visitors, and it's a pride to our city. I also had the special honor of throwing out the first pitch at the Shriners Children's Invitational Softball Tournament. I think I was at a particular game of Oklahoma versus Duke. Now, as many of you know, it's not very often that I trade my 4-inch heels for sneakers. So I was a little bit anxious about throwing the ball to the plate, but I'm very happy to say that I did. It was a little bit on the outside, but not bad considering I had to suffer through a sudden 4-inch drop. Beyond the ball field, we rolled up our sleeves for a very dynamic, interactive, strategic planning session, and I look forward to the final product of that. We as a council also traveled to Tallahassee to meet with our state legislators and advocate for Clearwater, ensuring our priorities, our voice is being heard, and all residents are to be represented. Downtown was absolutely electric on St. Valentine's Day. We had a concert at the Big Care Sound. It was Enzo, and his concert was themed very well for St. Valentine's. It was all about love and positive vibes. He even put on the screen featuring all the significant others of all his crew. It was an excellent concert. I did have the opportunity to speak with him. I met with him and his crew, young and very talented individuals, again, with positive energy. He had great things to say about Clearwater and its residents, and his girlfriend slash manager, after the concert, texted me a really nice message. Huge congratulations on the success of the venue. Truly our favorite place we've played so far. So I really appreciated that comment. And yesterday's topping off ceremony and tour of our new city hall was another milestone moment, something that really meant a lot to me personally. Seeing something that we've talked about for decades finally rise into reality reminded me that not only does it take vision, but persistence.
Thank you. Well, I want to echo what you said about the Clearwater Invitational with ESPN. All the comments were great about the great things happening in Clearwater. But for those of you who missed it, we had an elite college softball tournament this past weekend, really previous 2 weekends in Clearwater. We had one that was run by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, had some of the top college teams in the country. But this past weekend, ESPN Events ran it. 40 games, all 40 were broadcast on one of the ESPN platforms, and some of them on the main ESPN network, including Texas Tech being upset by Nebraska on Sunday night. That was broadcast on the main ESPN throughout the entire country. The tournament draws teams from UCLA, from all over the country. So we got a national reach with the broadcast. They had their top announcers, including our local Olympian gold medalist, Michelle Smith, who's one of the announcers for some of the prime games. And I asked about the viewers for all 40 games and all 40 platforms. And I was told that last year they tracked it, and there was about 2.5 million views. And if you watched any of it on ESPN, if I heard Clearwater once, I heard it 100 times. And the drone shots coming in and out of commercials were all about Clearwater, showing our beautiful city and aspects. We couldn't have had a more effective 3-day advertisement across the country for how beautiful Clearwater is and our beaches. So what a great event. But what I want to share is my appreciation for our City of Clearwater team and how they supported that. We could not have done that without our team pouring their hearts into it. And I was out there a number of games just seeing how much pride our City of Clearwater staff and team put into making that event successful, and taking a lot of pride in not just the event, but the City of Clearwater, and then SCORE, and there were a number of other volunteers from our community that, if it wasn't for the volunteers through SCORE who helped get that event run, we wouldn't be able to host such a prestigious event. So thank you to our staff for doing such a great job in hosting and continue to bring that community back, that event back, and thank you to the many volunteers that participate, not just in that event, but other events that bring attention to our city and make our city more bright and beautiful than it's ever been before. So thank you to them. And the last thing I want to say is we have a special birthday we're celebrating today. Councilmember Cotton is celebrating his birthday today, so rare, unique opportunity to celebrate it at a council meeting. But happy birthday to you. For those of you who weren't with us earlier, we had the city council team and staff saying happy birthday to Councilmember Cotton. I won't ask for a repeat performance, but I can tell you it was stellar. It was fantastic. So talking about other ways we can perhaps perform throughout the community in the coming year. But happy birthday, Councilmember, and hope you and your family enjoy celebrating it today. So with that, if nothing else to come before the City Council, we will adjourn the meeting of February 19th, 2026.